Welcome back to Let's Talk Wednesdays, y'all. And for those of you all that celebrate the 4th of July, which is tomorrow, happy 4th of July. Y'all be safe out there. Don't be doing nothing crazy. Have fun with your families, but be safe, okay? So for those of you all who have never joined our Let's Talk Wednesday, my name is Melshani Collins, and I am the CEO and family advocate of the G.R.A.C.E Agency, where we advocate for families that have child welfare cases. We also help fathers to gain paternal rights to their children through legitimation, and we help to connect families to local community resources. And so a part of our services, you all, are our family court services, where we help you with your petition. So we do petitions of modification of child support, modification of custody or visitation, third party custody, which is if a relative or fictive kin has been left with a child that is not theirs and they're trying to get custody of that child. Also, we do contempt and paternity petitions as well. We are not a lawyer or an attorney service, but we are a family advocacy service. And what we do is we connect you to lawyers or attorneys if you are seeking representation. We give you free or low cost options so that you are able to do so. But our mission is to be able to show you God's grace through our service to you and your family. If you are in need of any of those services, definitely give us a call at 678-729-7261. Or you are more than welcome to visit our website, which is www.grace-ga.com. Follow us on our social medias. Our Instagram is G.R.A.C.E.LLC. Our Facebook is Giving Respect and Compassion Every Day /Grace. And you all, you won't regret it. You won't regret it. So last week I did not join into a Let's Talk Wednesday. I don't know if I said it, but I do these every single Wednesday between 12 and 1. And what we do at our Let's Talk Wednesdays is we pick a different organization to feature every single week so that you're able to get new resources, new information on services to people that you might not have known was a resource to you that is in your local community. And so I didn't do it last week, y'all, because I was speaking at a workshop. It was the 17th annual SOCA conference workshop that they do annually here in Georgia. And I was a speaker and I loved it. I had a blast. I had a great time. So that's what I did on last week. And the week before that, I did a Let's Talk Wednesday with DFACS, which was the DeKalb Access and Resource Center in Stone Mountain, Georgia. Everybody loved that Let's Talk Wednesday. I still have been getting emails on people asking for resources from that specific center. So if you all are in need of different resources, definitely go to any of my Let's Talk Wednesdays and find whatever resource that you may need. Again, I've been doing this since January, you all, just bringing the community resources that they are in need of and meeting you all where you are. So I am excited today. And I always say this because I am excited because every single time I do a Let's Talk Wednesday from a different service provider that I might not have known, but I met while at an event, I'm so excited because I get a little bit more insight, just like you all, about the services that they have to offer. And so I'm excited for this new resource. And this is it's for men, but it's specifically for our African American men, you all. And it's called Reaching Our Brothers Everywhere. And I met this guy, Mr. Root, at a Decatur men's wellness event about 2 weekends ago. And so while I'm at these events, I always network and talk to different people. And I thought that his organization was very interesting because it's teaching something that I haven't seen geared towards African American men or their partners or elderly caregivers. And so I thought that this would be a great resource for new fathers, also for new mothers as well, but specifically for our fathers that really are needing support and mentorship around this new journey as a father. And even if they aren't a new father, just having that support and that manhood going on in the community. So I am about to join him in, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. Give me 1 second, you all. All right, you all. No worries, because Mr. Carl Ruth is the one that's going to be our speaker today. He is on vacation, and he's actually somewhere where the time zone is different. And so he is looking for a place where he can go ahead and join us on today. So he will be in just a few minutes, you all. So please bear with me. But again, you all, I thought that this was a very, very interesting resource, because a lot of fathers, when they are, especially new fathers, when they are going into having a child and not necessarily knowing the things that come with a child, such as feedings and getting up in the middle of the night and constant doctor's appointments when they're very, very, very young, and just making sure that that the child is in safe sleep procedures, right? And for those of you that may not know, safe sleep is when you are putting a child on their back in a crib or a playpen, that they have no covers, they have no blankets or anything like that around them that could cause suffocation. Because actually, you all, more than you would know, a lot of children die when they are young, not just from SIDS, which is sudden infant death syndrome, but they also die from being accidentally suffocated. And so those things are important, because when I had my baby, she's 18 now, but when I had my baby, I slept with her, right? She was right beside me. I had, my regular stuff that I would have on the bed. So that would be my comforter, that would be my pillows. And there was no problems. I always made sure that I was aware of where she was in connection to my body, just making sure, that I slept in the same position, didn't roll over on her or anything of that nature. And so I think that that's an important thing. And when I used to be a case manager at the Department of Family and Children Services, that was one of the things that we always had to tell parents, whether you was a new parent or not, because culturally, right, most adults, most caregivers, most parents, they sleep with their children, right? It's a place of comfort, but also it's just easy access, especially if you're breastfeeding, right? You could just go ahead and, plop it out, go ahead and feed your child while you are in the comfortability of your bed, instead of having to walk to their room or get up and go to their playpen or their crib, take them out, sit somewhere, and then feed them. But a lot of children actually end up dying that way. And so I definitely wanted to just let you all know that there are going to be some specific topics that we're going to be talking about today when it comes to educating new fathers and mothers, but also elderly caregivers, right? Because our elderly caregivers, right, our grandmamas, our granddaddies, they had specific things that they did with their children when they were young. And these things work, right? But as we get a little bit older into new technology, we do different things. And not saying that the things that they did was wrong, but just saying that, they just come up with new statistics on children and what they experience. And so I think that these are some things that we can learn, we can embrace, and whether you decide to use some of these tips or not is definitely your business, right? But these are tips where you can either pass it on, to your children that are having children, or just some family members that you may know, some tips that can help them. So give me 1 second, you all. Let me see if he is joined in. All right, he's not joined in yet. So y'all give me a few more minutes. All right, here we go, you all.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, Mr. Carl Root. How are you doing today?
I am good and getting better. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, sir, I can. I can hear you very
Yes,
clearly. Okay,
yes,
well,
yes.
welcome to our Let's Talk Wednesday. I did do a brief introduction of how I met you and came across your organization. So, if you can just go ahead and introduce yourself and give them a little bit of background information on who you are and what you do.
I will do that. Hey, family, my name is Carl Root, and I am a longtime fatherhood practitioner, responsible boyhood, manhood, and fatherhood practitioner with over 30 years' experience, married for almost 40 years since 1986 to the same woman, and have been responsible for the lives of 7 adult children, 4 men and 3 women. And by the grace of God, we've been able to successfully navigate, a lot of the challenges of childhood, adolescence, and even adulthood. And it still goes on as a parent. But I am the program director, community transformer, and wisdom council member of Reaching Our Brothers Everywhere, where our mission is to educate, equip, and empower men to impact an increase in breastfeeding rates and the decrease in infant mortality rates in the African American community. Now, we do this by educating brothers about their rights and responsibilities, and we also give them awareness and access to resources to better enable them to protect, provide, and prepare their families for future success. Been doing this a long time, so it's kind of automatic with me. But I am a veteran. I served in the army, and I am a longtime advocate of responsible boyhood, manhood, and fatherhood because I believe rites of passage type programs are
Mm-hmm.
necessary, especially for young boys and men, in order to successfully navigate some of the challenges and barriers we face in the kind of society, the kind of world that we live in. There has to be a
Absolutely.
there has to be a dedicated and purposeful effort to prepare men for manhood, to prepare
Yeah.
boys for manhood. Because I don't know about you, but I'm a baby boomer and I've witnessed the onslaught of unwanted and unprepared for pregnancies by teen moms and teen dads. And we end up having a lot of work to do as a
Mhm.
society as a result of that non-preparation and unpreparedness. So that's my work. That's what I do today. And as we get more into the questions, you'll find out just a little bit more. But the reason I do this work is because of a father wound, and I recognize that we got to engage men in,
Yes.
in the family. We cannot no longer do like the welfare system did in ages past, in times past. You got to get the man out of the house. We can't afford to move in that way anymore. So
You
that's
are
my
you are correct. You are correct. And so with you speaking and two important topics that I think that was very interesting to me that you cover is breastfeeding education and infant mortality. Can you tell me why was those specific topics important to you in building your education with African American fathers um and grandmothers and that specific education? Why was breastfeeding and infant mortality important?
Ms. Collins. When I came into the knowledge of the maternal and infant mortality and morbidity rates in the African American community, I was totally astonished. I
Mm,
didn't know. I didn't know that our mothers and babies were dying at such higher rates than other communities. And it
hmm.
became very personal to me because we lost a child. My mother lost a child. My sisters have lost children, and so forth and
Wow.
so on. And I wonder why. And then as I began to delve into, I actually became a certified lactation counselor so that I could better educate men about the benefits of breastfeeding. But what I found was that our babies are dying from premature or low birth weight, which
Mm,
means there's not much prenatal care taking place. And
mm,
why is there not much prenatal care taking place? First of all, when I recognize one thing, when I encouraged my wife to go to the prenatal visits, and I started going with her, our last baby got better care. But prior to me coming into the knowledge that we don't really have access to good quality care, When I came into
Mm-hmm.
the knowledge and I understood that really is because we're really not advocating on that level, but with a little bit more avocation and a little bit more intentionality about, hey, we're getting ready to have a baby, and not just leaving it on the woman to have that baby. When that brother is involved and he's engaging the healthcare professionals, I found that not only that does it contribute to the bonding between the couple, but
Mm-hmm.
the birthing outcome is better. And then we have better care for children.
Yep.
We can't be all willy-nilly out here just having babies and just, well, I got a baby. How many children you got? I got 5. Oh, what's the plan?
Yep.
There's no plan. So we're big on preconception health, Ms. Collins. Very
Oh,
big on preconception health.
okay. And so, what are some of the social and cultural barriers that you find that African American families face when it comes to accessing prenatal care? Is it transportation? Is it just them getting benefits? Is there a barrier just to them being brown? You know what I'm saying? Us,
Yeah.
coming into that system and being treated fairly. What are some social and cultural barriers you think that we face when it comes to getting the proper prenatal care for infants?
Well, the barrier itself is, I'm sure you've heard of the social determinants of health,
Mm-hmm.
which, based on place, zip codes, it determines your ability to access the critical needs, okay, especially healthcare needs. Um, we're finding that poverty is the overriding theme that creates the barriers, the lack
Absolutely.
of transportation, the lack of, just insurance, having insurance. A lot of us don't have insurance, just
Mm-hmm.
basic needs. So those are the things that we attempt to address because we provide breastfeeding classes for those women who, because one of the biggest problems with breastfeeding is the inability to latch. And that's simply because a woman has not been really taught how to do it, because breastfeeding shouldn't hurt. But the reason for it is because, the benefits of breastfeeding are life giving
Yes.
and life changing. And what I found that not only that, when you do breastfeeding, and not all women can breastfeed because of, whatever physiological challenges or whatever, but
Mm-hmm.
the breast milk was made for babies. The
Yes.
creator created it that way. And I found out in all of my research and learning that when a woman pumps, she's breastfeeding
Yep.
because it's breast milk.
Yep.
And I was thinking, oh, I'm out here advocating for breastfeeding when a lot of women just physically are unable to do it. And I felt wrong about it. But then when I heard that even when a woman pumps her milk, she's breastfeeding because
Yes.
that's mother's own milk. So, and then I looked at the benefits and I saw, even in my own experience, my mama had 7 children. She breastfed all of them but me. I had carnation milk and water, and I'm the runt in the bunch.
Mm.
The rest of them are smarter, they're finer, they're healthier, they're better looking. So I'm an advocate. I'm an advocate of breastfeeding, but there are so many benefits to breastfeeding. When I found out about them, I became an advocate. But not only that, when I learned about God's touch on the woman's body and the
Mm-hmm.
way that magic potion, I mean, we're talking about lower gastrointestinal diseases in the infant. Certain cancers are minimized. Certain risks for cancers are minimized even in the mother when she breastfeeds. Not only that, it's just, oh man, the benefits are so amazing that I said I'm going to begin to talk to our men again about the benefits of breastfeeding, because what happened was, because of wet nursing back in the day, a lot of Black women got a bad taste in their mouth about breastfeeding because
Mm.
they were forced to breastfeed the children of their slave owners. because those women felt like they didn't want to mess up their breast. So they would
Absolutely.
put it on the black woman, the slave woman. And because she was forced to do it, when it came time for her to do her own babies, as a matter of fact, my sister them said, hey, when you were able to buy formula, you felt like you had arrived. You,
Mm.
you were a career woman. Now you can get formula, you can go back to work, and you can bring home the bacon, cook it up in a pan, and still raise that baby.
Wow.
So the
Wow.
brother, the man, we felt some kind of way because you really don't need us now. But
True.
with breastfeeding, this reintroduces the man back into the whole birthing equation, because now as the man supports, if this woman chooses the breastfeeding, it's a little bit more lifting. So in
Mm-hmm.
order to do that, you're going to have to help her with other things, house cleaning, making sure she's comfortable, making sure that you all have the things that you need in terms of upkeep of the family.
Mm-hmm.
All of those things, walking with the baby, giving her a break, spending your own time with the baby. All of these things not only encourages a more healthy household and relationship, but healthier people in general.
Absolutely. So you are not just targeting the fathers, but you are starting with when it's supposed to be the head of the home. And if the head of the home is in order, it trickles down to not only the mental health of the mother, but the physical health of the child through her ability to breastfeed and her ability to, be able to relax. Because I have heard, and you can give me more information on this, that when women are more stressed or women are not in a mind state to really care for their child the way that they need to, it does affect the amount of breast milk that they have to give to their child. They have a harder time with pumping and producing, which, when women start to feel that and then they have all these other stressors, breastfeeding becomes the last thing on the list.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. And it minimizes the amount of time that a woman breastfeeds. But when
Mm,
she has, because what we do is we look at the time that a woman ever breastfeed. Most women start out, about 85% of all women start out trying,
mm-hmm,
okay,
mm-hmm.
to breastfeed. But then 6 months later, you know, it's a big fall off
Yeah.
because people are going back to work. And especially in the African American community, we don't really have that support from the male that we need. Okay, the woman has really been relying on the system because the system replaced the men for the most part, and we let
Mm-hmm.
them have it because they provided food stamps, they provided WIC, they provided the woman with a place to stay. So the man really could have just taken a back seat, and we did that. We took
Wow.
the path, yeah, we took the path of least resistance. Most people do that, but that's not when you have an emerging community, because we as a people, we are emerging from subservience. We're emerging from slavery. We're
Mm-hmm.
coming out of that struggle life into
Mm-hmm.
thriving. And in order to do that, we have to have a paradigm shift from struggle life to thriving.
Yep.
So the men that we encounter, we're talking preconception health. Man, even before you think about having a child, bringing a child in this world, or having unprotected sex, you need to think about how ready you are to take care of
Woo.
yourself
Yep.
before you even think about trying to have a baby. I don't care if it's a oops. You don't even need to have a oops.
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And these are the kinds of conversations that we're having. This is what ROBE is doing, because we're in the breastfeeding, infant mortality, maternal mortality application role. But at the same time, we have to bring our men up to a certain level before we can even talk about breastfeeding, before we
Yep.
can even talk about infant mortality. We have to meet them where they are. Hey, brother, what's going on? I'm justice involved, man. I need to find out how I can get off this probation. I need to find out how I can get some help with housing, a job. I need a good job, not just any job. I need a career.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what we're doing. We are working from the back end, trying to catch our men up And that's what's happening. But guess what? There's a movement going on. I'm excited. Get excited.
What's the
Please
movement?
get excited. The brothers are look, the brothers are saying, hey man, not on my watch. I didn't know this.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
they are signing up all over the country. We are right now working with 101 healthy starts. We do technical
Wow.
assistance. There's 101 healthy starts throughout the United States. They have a
Mm-hmm.
conference every year. We're part of their fatherhood engagement, technical assistance, and support team. But
Oh, wow.
the brothers are waking up right now. Our focus is 8 southeastern states, the formerly largest slaveholding states: Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana. We're in all of those states. And the brothers, oh, they ready to go. They just needed somebody to come and say, hey man, this is what we're doing over here. We're doing some good over here. Come on over here and help us with this. And the brothers saying, where do I sign up?
Wow.
Especially when they can see the results. And guess what? We're not chasing dollars. Dollars are chasing us.
That's
Because the
awesome.
powers of B are saying, you know what the powers of B are saying to black men? We want you to be able to take care of your families.
Yep.
That's what they're saying. We don't want to have to do it for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why we're trying to eliminate food stamps and welfare and all of that, because we want to bring you up. So we're going to the powers that be and saying, well, put your money where your mouth is. Put your money where your mouth is and give us those dignified wages that we need. Give us those opportunities that you provided to those in the majority. And we'll see how willing you are to enable us to provide responsible fatherhood for our families.
Wow.
Now we have a voice. ROBE is a voice, and we're creating other voices because we have a program called Community Transformers, where we train men in each of those states to use the same force, the same model that we're using successfully here in Georgia. You know, we
Mm-hmm.
just had June declared Men's Celebration Month in like a 5 county area every year.
Oh, wow. That's
Yes, we did
awesome.
that. We also have a 15 to 20 member coalition called Fathers Matter ATL
That's
with
awesome.
Morehouse School of Medicine. And we're getting ready to introduce to the state of Georgia a fatherhood commission. What would this fatherhood commission do? Just what I'm doing. We will engage men in all of the communities on a larger scale to do rites of passage type of preconception kind of health, informing and awareness and giving access to the resources to be able to accomplish those things because we need the resources.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It has to come with resources. In order for you to be able to reach who you need to reach and get out there in the community, it has to come with resources, because one of the things that you mentioned earlier is that you have to work from the back in order to bring them up to the level of awareness and education that they need to have, especially when they're having children. But if they can't take care of themselves, if they don't have, income, if they don't have transportation, you're trying to add a child into that, it's going to be nearly impossible.
Listen to that. And we tell our brothers, we say, listen, man, and I know this with beyond a shadow of a doubt. I know at least 3 things every man needs to have a good start. I
Mm-hmm.
know these things. God wrote them on my heart because I was asking him, God, what is it? What do I need to tell the brothers? What is it that we need in order to have a solid foundation? He said, first, a man needs to have a power greater than himself that he can believe in. And then he needs to have a way to take care of himself.
Yep.
Some kind of a skill or a trade, some kind of income producing, you know what I'm saying,
Yep.
mechanism so that he can take care of himself. And then he needs someone that has his back. But
Absolutely.
I'm telling you, first of all, when you get God, you got all of those
Yep.
because he's going to send you in that direction.
Yep. He sure
So,
is.
so really, I have to start with the brothers with first, man, you need a way to take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he's
Mhm.
hungry, he ain't trying to go to church right now. But you get him a job and he start eating, he gets somewhere to stay and stabilize. Now you can talk to him about, hey man, how you have so much money in your pocket? Now you can tell him about the God that you serve
Yep.
that makes it possible.
Yep. Yep.
So that's where we start. If you and we tell them if you got just these basic three things, we can work together. But guess what? Most of the men that are really struggling, you know what I find, Miss Collins?
What?
They don't have that God peace.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what I'm finding.
Yep.
99.9% of the time, the men
Yep.
that I'm helping, that we're helping, my first question is a look deep question. Are you a believer?
Hmm. Yes. Ooh, yep.
And it tells me a lot and it saves a whole lot of time.
Yes, it absolutely. And I'm so glad that you said that because most people, I was watching something on Facebook yesterday, and a guy said he was an African American male. He was young. He said, "I'm a rapper first. I'm a family man second, and then he said, I'm a Christian third." And I listened to him and I said, brother, you got it all out of order. And that is what society wanted. They want to have the men out of order because when
Yes.
you have the men out of order, you can affect the women and the children. And that's why it's so important. I'm so glad you said that about having God first, because if you have God, you have everything. You have
Everything.
everything.
Big question. Somebody asked me if you can give your child $1 million or the knowledge of who God is, what would you give them?
The knowledge of who God is,
Why
because it's
would I
worth more than
limit?
anything.
Why would you limit them to $1 million? When you
Right.
give them God, you give them infinity.
Yes.
Come on. Anyway, don't get me started. Don't
Well,
get me
look,
started.
don't get both of us started because we can go down this path deep. But I'm so glad that you said that because just knowing God and basically you spreading that out there and speaking to the men about that, that's the most important thing. Because once they can get a hold of God, they're going to be able to grasp everything else. But if they don't have God, a lot of times that's why so many things are out of order in their life because they don't know what to do, who to depend on. There's a lack of support. And so I'm so glad that your organization is out there doing that. Now, one of the things that I did some research on your website was something that I thought that a lot of men needed in their lives because some men that I know, there's a lack of community for them. They don't have people that they can talk to. And then if it is people they can talk to, they want to be able to talk to men and they should be able to talk to men that can elevate their mindset, not men that could just go along and be in the yes gang with whatever they're going through. And so two of the things that I want to talk about today was your hoop therapy check-in and then your boy man father program. Can you give us some more information about that?
Yes, I'm so glad that you asked. And these are platforms that, again, men don't always have a place where they can go and talk with other men. So about 3 years ago, I wrote a book, Miss Collins, called Boy, Man, Father. And when I submitted the manuscript, I was on a board with a national organization, and one of the board members was a publisher. And she saw the title and she said, "Boy, man, Father, what is that?" I said, "That's the title of my book that I'm planning for my book." She said, "Really? Can you tell me a little bit about the book?" And I said, "Yes." And I told her a little bit. And she said, "I'm a publisher and I would love to publish that book for you for free."
Wow.
I said, "Wow."
That's a
So,
blessing.
and yeah, this is God, though, the way He does things. But uh, he, she did that. I published the book. I lost my train of thought. Where was I going with that? What was I going with it? What was I
So we were
answering?
talking about the hoop therapy
Oh yeah,
check-in.
whoop there. So Boy Man Father, I wrote the book Boy Man Father. So I got to Rose, Reaching Our Sisters Everywhere, and she said, Dr. Bug, who is the CEO and founder of Reaching Our Sisters Everywhere, she said, "Carl, we need a platform to engage men." And she bought a bunch of my books, and she said, I said, "Well, what about Boy Man Father? Let's do Boy Man Father talks."
Mm-hmm.
twice a month. And we started doing it. We launched it and we started talking with men in those 8 different states.
Mm-hmm.
And the men began to engage. We began to talk. And because it was during COVID when we began,
Mm-hmm.
we had great participation. But then when COVID subsided, the attendance went down because men had to physically show up. We had, we started having a physical location with
Got you.
food, but yet at the same time, the men weren't showing up for the talk. So we had to go back and revisit what we were doing. Now we had been doing playing basketball every Thursday. We call it
Mhm.
hoop therapy. The men show up every
Right. Oh,
Thursday.
they love basketball.
every Thursday, 20, 25 men. Okay. So we got men sitting down, waiting to play. Because once one team lose, only 10 can play at a time. So once one
Mm-hmm.
team loses, we got a whole team sitting down on the bench. So we decided to give them access to uh, maternal and child health information, breastfeeding and infant mortality information in Georgia, stuff like that. Have them, they're able to win prizes. But then they started checking in with us saying, man, I don't want to do that when I lose a game. I'm sitting down. I don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided to offer another platform, which is called for them, the Hoop Therapy. This is the Hoop Therapy and the Boy Man Father Plus Talks combined community check-in. They
Okay.
all get to just come and check in, whatever is going on with them. Man, I just got kicked out of my apartment. I need some help. Or man, the mother of my child just signed me up for child support. Whatever. We are there for them every second Thursday of the month.
Got you.
Yeah, because the men need the support. They don't know how to ask. So what we've done, and we just started in February of this year, the check-in. But hoop therapy has been successful for a number of years. But we had to pivot a little bit because we weren't getting the bang for our buck. These guys weren't really learning about maternal and child health. They were just coming to play basketball.
Right. Right.
And then they leave in there, they'll come in there with chips on their shoulders and they leave with the same chip on their shoulder. So
Mm-hmm.
we had to come together as a team and say, listen, how can we help these men? Because we know some of them got chips on their shoulders. So we addressed them like that. Listen, come to the check-in, get the chip off your shoulder, brother. There's somebody out here that can help you with what you think you're going through alone. It's somebody else going through it, and we can do better together than we can alone. So it's building up. So we built it, and we're expecting great things. We also have a wisdom council. The wisdom council is made up of heads from those healthy starts that I was telling you about in
Mm-hmm.
the 8 southeastern states, the fatherhood coordinators. We're getting 12 of those men together, and we're going to be an advisory council for those 8 southeastern states on how to better serve men, how to better engage, recruit, and retain male participation because it's a problem.
Oh yes. Absolutely.
But God is the best knower. God is the best knower, and I cheat. I cheat in a good way. This is how I cheat. I got ready
Mm-hmm.
to go. God had me invited to speak to a bunch of people I didn't want to speak to. Just like the guy in the Bible didn't want to go to what, Nineveh?
Nineveh, oh
Anyway,
Jonah. Uh-huh.
yeah. So I took that same position. I didn't want to go, and I asked God. I said, God, I don't want to go and talk to these. Do you want me to go? And He said, yes. And I said, well, what am I going to say to these people? He said, get a pen and pad.
Mm-hmm.
You understand me? So I
Absolutely.
knew that I had to go. And I went, and it was the best thing that I could have ever done because it set me on a path that's where I am now. And it's the greatest path I could have ever been on. I'm thanking God every day. But I cheat because I ask Him, what do you want me to say to these people, to your people?
Mm-hmm.
What is it that you put inside of me that they need to hear? Because I ain't got nothing.
And you know what? God loves that because I just was at a conference And I've always been a little bit shy, to speak in front of people. But I told God, I said, you know what, Lord, whatever opportunity you give me, I'm going to do it. And one of the scriptures that God brought to my remembrance is the scripture that says, do not worry about what you are to say, for the Holy Spirit will give you what you are to say in front of
Mm,
queens. And so I use that scripture because at the end of the day, I always let God know that, Father, if it wasn't for you, I would not be here. I have nothing to say that is important. It is whatever you choose to say through me. So as long as you give me the words, I will be obedient and I will do what you tell me to do. And I will go where you tell me to go. And I will say what thus saith the Lord with conviction. And that's it. I will not add more to it and I will not take away from it because it is you, Lord. May you be in the forefront and may I be in the background, because this journey that God has me on, just like the journey that God has you on, it is not about me. It's not about my fear. It's not about the way I look. It's not about my experience or
mm,
education. It is about God. And I make sure that God
that's
knows, Father, you get the glory from this. So if you tell me to
mm,
go, I will
mm,
go. But I will not worry about what I am to say, for you will give me what to say before kings and queens.
I love it. I love it, girl. You got me. Ooh, see, uh, I know exactly what you're talking about, and we are safer in that place, in
Yes,
that position, in His bosom with this work.
yes,
Oh my, because we're more effective then. I can
yes,
do nothing alone, but with God, I can do all things. And
yes.
I'm so grateful because, again, I feel like I'm cheating because I ask people, say, how did you come up with that? And if
It's
I
God.
told them I had to, you know what I'm saying? They don't just want to hear it's just God. No, it
It's the
can't be God,
truth.
especially those intellectuals. That
Oh,
can't be God. You had to come up with a logic model. You had to do this. You had to do that. God gave me the logic model too, son.
yeah.
Yeah, so I get excited. I get a lot of credit, but guess what? People ask me, like the director asked me the other day, Carl, what title do you want to have? I said, I don't really have to have no title. I just want to do effective work.
Yeah,
I just want to be
absolutely.
Brother Carl doing great work out here. I just want to hear my father say, well done, my good and faithful servant. You understand me?
Yes,
Because they can't pay me enough
yes,
for what
yes.
I'm doing right now. And see, right now, I'm retired. I'm
Mm,
retired. I, I'm retired and I work more now than I ever have, but it's not work. Like my
mhm.
wife told me today, she said, baby, please don't get down there and make that a 4 hour conversation because you know how passionate you are. and, and I say, when spirit takes over, I just follow the lead because I
Absolutely.
am. Thank you for this opportunity. I appreciate it, and I hope something is being said here, something is being shared because we are a legitimate, God-fearing, and totally impactful organization. We intend to do what we do, and we do it in excellence. We don't
Yes.
allow anybody in our circles. We have community transformers, and they ask us, "Man, why is it so hard to become a part of you all?" And I
Mhm.
said, "It's not really hard." It's just that we just have to meet certain standards as we relate to the work that we do because we're Black men and we're under close scrutiny and we're working in an arena where we've not been given much credit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So if there are, and I know that there's going to be so many men that are going to watch this, or so many women that are going to say, hey, this is something that you need to be a part of. For the ones that are local, how can they become a part of your hoop therapy or your wisdom classes or your boy man father program? How can they join, and also give them the information on where you all are located as well?
Yes, for those who want to know, our website is www.robeforfamily.org. Robeforfamily.org. And we are located at 3250 Rainbow Drive, Green Forest Baptist Church office, building number 3. We're on the church campus, a very beautiful campus off Rainbow Drive, right across from the senior multi-purpose building over there on Rainbow Drive. But
Okay.
we're there every Thursday. Again, if you want to engage with us with hoop therapy, we're there every Thursday playing basketball from 8 until 9, about 9:30. And of course, we have the Boy Man Father Talks, which is a virtual, a Zoom event. All of this can be found on our website. The virtual event, Boy Man Father Plus Talks. The plus is for grandfathers and aunties and whoever wants to chime in. But we're talking about maternal and child better health outcomes, better maternal and child health outcomes in the African American community. Why? Because our mothers and babies die at much higher rates than other communities, and we intend to move the needle on either minimizing or totally eliminating those disparities because they're unnecessary. 99% of our babies now are born in the hospital, healthcare profession, in that environment. When back in the day, a lot of children were born at home and they had access to midwives, what we call in the Black community granny midwives. And our babies live, but now our babies are dying prematurely or low birth weight. Why? Because we now have access to a lot of maternal child health care, but we are on the move to get that done. We will be hosting on July 19th and 20th 150 men to talk about ways that men play a role in reproductive health.
Mm. Oh,
So that we will, yes, as a matter of fact, we will be having that summit at the very same place I met you, Miss Collins,
okay.
at, yes, at the Community Achievement Center where we had the DeKalb Public Health Men's Health Initiative. That'll be on July 19th from 10 to 4. We'll be engaging men, talking about reproductive rights as well as a maternal and child morbidity and mortality. We just got to bring the brothers up to speed and let them know where they can help. And we really want to get the man back into the fold. He loves his mama. Black men we love our women. Please believe me.
Absolutely.
We love our mama. So now we're gonna get them to put your money where your mouth is. You love your mama, quit causing her all this grief by going to jail and gang banging and hurting and shooting and killing each other. Let's
Mhm.
love our mama because mama and somebody pay a lot of money to keep you safe. And when you get hurt and have to go to the hospital, it ain't cheap trying to keep you alive.
Right. You are right about that. You
So
are
let's begin to be more life giving.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, contact us. We're there every Monday through Thursday at our office. We're there from 9 to about 4 o'clock. And we are also on Mondays, we have what is called a baby cafe, where women who want to learn how to breastfeed can come in and they can bring their men. We have engagement exercises for the men if they come with them. And we can engage them while the women are learning to latch or whatever they want to know about breastfeeding. We have experts in the house. We have doulas. We have midwives. We have people who train in the field. We have doctors. As a matter of fact, our director is a neonatologist who just retired from Grady after 30 years. So
Wow.
he's been saving black babies for a long, long time. And
Wow. That's
Grady, yeah. Yeah. So we're really out here doing the work because the mission field is vast and the laborers are very, very few,
yep. But the harvest is
but
plenty.
the harvest is plentiful. So we
Absolutely.
got plenty of work to do. We just
Yep.
need to get more hands to the plow, and that's what we're seeking to do through platforms like yours. Thank you for allowing us an opportunity to share who we are and what we do. And we have much more that I'm able to share. We have much more than I'm able to share. Check us out and hold our foot to the fire, and we'll show you that we are who we say we are.
Absolutely. It has been a pleasure speaking with you, Mr. Carl, and the wealth of knowledge that you have given to the community. And any father that I'll come across, or I'm pretty sure I'm going to start getting messages for women that know that they want their fathers or they want their boyfriends or their husbands or grandfathers, whoever, to be involved in this. I'm definitely going to give them your information because I think that what you all are doing is great. Again, when I met you at that wellness event, I knew that your organization did something different that I think that a lot of our African American fathers are missing. And it's very important that when you go into places that you see men that look like you, it's you're able to embrace it a little bit more, without feeling like you're not supposed to be there, but know that you belong somewhere and you're valued. You're wanted in these families and you're needed. So again, thank you so much, Mr. Carl, for just sharing that information with us. And anyone that I come across, I definitely will shoot them your way. And thank you for agreeing to talk with us today. I know you're on vacation, so enjoy the rest of your day. Tell your wife thank you again. I appreciate it. I hope I didn't keep you too long.
You've been. This has been great, and thank you for your service. I saw the work that you've been doing in child protective services and the like, and reading your bio. I thank you for all that you've done, and I see that you have a real heart. You know what? I just thank God that He's put people like us in the earth for such a time as this.
Yep.
Thinking not strange that He's connecting the dots, and that
Hmm.
remnant is coming together. And guess what? Some miraculous things are about to take place. So thank
Absolutely.
you. Thank you.
No problem. And I look forward to speaking with you soon, but you have a great day.
You do the same. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.